Hello, dreadful family. Sometimes a weekend away is all we need to escape the noise, to relax, to feel safe for a while. But for some people, that peaceful getaway became the start of something terrifying. These are 4 true stories of trips that went horribly wrong. Turn off the lights, and let's begin. I've always liked getting away from the city. The noise, the traffic, the lights, I wanted none of it, just silence, just peace. Last October, my girlfriend Lily suggested a weekend trip. She found a cabin online, remote, wooded, isolated. It sounded perfect, just the 2 of us. We packed lightly, a bottle of wine, a blanket, snacks, and drove out. The first few hours were fine, easy roads, good music, good conversation. Then the GPS died. The dirt road ahead narrowed. Trees loomed closer. Shadows stretched across the windshield. Fingers of darkness. Feels like a horror movie, I joked. Lily laughed. It didn't sound funny. Not really. After 15 minutes, we saw it. The cabin. It was older than the photos. Gray, blackened wood, peeling paint, no red door. The air was cold, damp, heavy. Inside, it smelled stale, like it hadn't been lived in for years. The floor creaked under every step. Furniture sagged. The fireplace was cold. The bed looked broken. No electricity. No sound. Nothing. Just silence. "This has character," Lily said. I forced a smile. Night fell fast. Midnight. Pitch black outside. I woke suddenly. It was too quiet. No wind, no animals, just silence. Then I heard it. Crunching. Soft. Outside. Footsteps. Slow. Methodical. 1, 2. Pause. Closer. I froze. The dark window was beside me. Lily slept. I didn't move. The footsteps stopped. So close, I felt them through the floor. Then creaking. The porch. I held my breath. The door had only a latch. Someone was there, watching, waiting. I waited too. Minutes stretched, every second heavier than the last. Then silence again. No more footsteps. I thought it might have been a dream. Maybe I was imagining it. I didn't sleep the rest of the night. Morning came. Gray light filtered through the trees. I stepped outside. Footprints. Bare feet. Small. Deep. Someone had been on the porch. I didn't tell Lily. I just said it was an animal. She didn't question it. The forest felt alive. Every shadow seemed to move. Every rustle sounded human. By the second night, the feeling had worsened. Around 11:30 p.m., I went to check the fire. It had died completely. The room was pitch black. The air smelled faintly of smoke, clicking. Then another click, dragging sound, floorboards outside, whispers, barely audible, multiple voices, hissing, distorted. Coming from the living room, I tiptoed back to the bedroom. Lily was awake, eyes wide, shaking. "You hear that?" she whispered. I nodded. We didn't speak. Not a word. Every second was heavy. Every moment stretched. Then something scraped across the floor again. Slow. Deliberate. The chair blocking the door was on its side. The window. Slightly open. I know I closed it. My heart pounded. I grabbed the heaviest knife in the kitchen. My hands shook. "Let's go," Lily whispered. We ran out the back door. We didn't get our things. The forest was dark. Mist curling between the trees. Branches snagged our clothes. Every tree seemed alive. The road back felt endless. Shadows lurked everywhere. Every sound was amplified. Every snapping branch made me jump. When we reached the main road, sunlight felt unreal. The air was warm. Normal. Finally, I could breathe. Neither of us spoke for hours. Later, I called the rental company. The number worked. A hesitant voice answered. I gave them the address. Silence. "This property was removed over 2 years ago," the voice said, "after a disappearance." They didn't say whose, just a couple. Gone. Car found abandoned nearby. No cabin ever found. We were silent, shaken. When we unpacked back home, Lily opened her bag. Inside, wedged between clothes, was a carving, the same shape as one on the porch. Its arms were broken. Across its chest, jagged letters, "Stay." I still have it. I don't touch it often. Every time I do, I feel the forest, the silence, the footsteps. Even months later, I hear faint whispers in the dark. I jump at shadows, because I know whoever left that carving is still out there. My extended family is unusual. Everyone is obsessed with guns or hunting. Every winter, we rent a huge cabin in the woods. It's our vacation, but it's never normal. This year, the cabin was massive, like a castle. Snow covered the ground. Tall trees blocked the sky. Moonlight barely reached the forest floor. Perfect for our family's favorite game, laser tag. The adults were intense. Everyone had high-tech gear. The rules were simple. Every man for himself. Last person standing wins. The prize? Bragging rights and a small cash reward. I had just turned 18. This was my first time playing. I was nervous, excited. The forest was silent, except for the crunch of snow under boots. We spread out quickly. Branches snapped underfoot. Moonlight glinted off snow. I crouched behind a tree, heart pounding, breath coming in clouds. Then I heard it, a faint crunch behind me. I froze. Footsteps? Or snow settling? I peeked. Nothing. Moved slowly. Another crunch. Closer this time, I ran. Adrenaline shot through me. Branches whipped my face. Snow sprayed under my boots. Somewhere behind me, someone followed. I checked the trails, footprints, multiple sets. Some human, some strange. They looped, twisted, trying to trap me. I found a perch on the slope. I thought I could watch, but movement caught my eye. Someone hid behind a tree. A laser beam hit me. I spun. Nothing. The beam stayed. I knew. They were stalking me, and I wasn't ready. I ran toward the cabin. Branches snapped. Crashing snow. The beam followed. Closer now. Faster. Then I saw it. A man in a ski mask. Trash bag in one hand. Knife in the other. He sprinted, I screamed. Ran harder than ever. My lungs burned. Snow slowed me down. Behind me, more footsteps. They were gaining. I dodged a tree. Slipped in the snow. Heart skipped. I couldn't stop. The forest seemed endless. Another crunch behind me. I risked a glance. Nothing. Then I heard it. Voices. Low murmurs. Whispering in a language I didn't know. They were close. I turned sharply. Branches scratched my face.
Snow hit my eyes.
I lost sight of the masked man, but I could still hear him. Footsteps behind, moving fast. I stumbled down a slope, fell. Snow packed my coat. I struggled up. My breath was ragged. The cabin was still ahead. I thought I saw movement. Another masked figure. 2, 3? I couldn't tell. I kept running, then a laser hit me. Right in the chest. My marker blinked. Someone was close. Too close, I zigzagged, hoping to lose them. Branches whipped my face. Snow burned my hands. Every step felt like a trap. I reached a clearing. Moonlight spilled on the snow. I saw a trail of footprints, fresh, leading to the cabin. I sprinted toward it. I passed my cousin Corbo. He was crouched behind a tree. Laser gun ready. I fired, hit him. He cursed, frustrated. I didn't stop. I couldn't. Another flash of movement. Someone was stalking me again. I froze. Laser beam trained on me. I clenched my fists. Heart racing, then a branch cracked, behind me. Closer now, I spun. A masked man sprinted at me, knife in hand. Trash bag swinging. I screamed. Ran toward the cabin. Feet slipping on ice, Lucian, my uncle, appeared. Hunting rifle raised. Shots fired into the air. The masked man tripped. Fell into the snow. I collapsed, shivering. Breath ragged. Snow packed around me, alive. The rest of the night was tense. Everyone stayed inside. The forest was silent again. Too silent. Morning came. We realized something. A snowman stood at the edge of the forest. It held a laser gun. Someone had left it there. Lucian fired at it. Screaming threats into the empty woods, the police were called. They found nothing. No footprints. No masked men, nothing. We packed early. The cabin was silent, empty, but I still felt it. Eyes watching us, waiting. Weeks later, I couldn't sleep. Every shadow in my room felt alive. Every snap of a branch outside. My heart skipped. I asked my cousins. They said it was a game, a prank gone wrong. But I know better. Snow, trees, silence. Someone was out there. Someone in the woods, waiting for the next mistake. Even months later, I can't forget. The way the forest felt alive, the crunch of snow, the whispers in the dark, the masked man running, the knife swinging. I won't forget, not ever, every winter since. I imagine him watching, from behind the trees, waiting for another game. I never want to go back. The snow, the cold, the forest, it's alive, and it remembers. I needed a break, from work, from people, from noise. So I booked a small Airbnb in northern Maine. It looked perfect, 1 bedroom, deep in the woods, no neighbors for miles, just quiet. The photos showed a cozy cabin, fireplace, porch swing, a view of pine trees and mist. Exactly what I wanted, a place to think. The host's name was Ellen. She messaged me before check-in, said the cabin was very private, that I might lose cell signal, that the key would be under the mat. I arrived just before dark. The road was narrow, snow on the trees, the kind of silence that hums in your ears. The cabin looked just like the pictures, maybe better. Lights strung across the porch, wood stacked neatly by the door. Inside smelled like cedar and coffee. 1 bedroom, a small kitchen, a door that led to the basement locked. Owner storage, the note said. I unpacked, lit the fireplace, made tea. No signal, just as Ellen warned. I didn't mind. That night I sat by the fire, listened to the wind push through the trees. It felt perfect, peaceful until around midnight. I heard something, a soft creak, like a floorboard shifting under weight. I paused, listened again. Nothing. Probably the house settling, I told myself. But it happened again. 2 steps slow, careful. From the kitchen I stood up, heart pounding. The cabin was small, but the shadows felt endless. I whispered, "Hello?" Silence. Then nothing but wind again. I checked the kitchen. Empty. The fridge hummed. The window fogged from my breath. I stared into the trees. Completely dark. I locked the front door. Double-checked the windows. Still felt uneasy, but exhaustion won. I went to bed. Morning came with snow. The world looked clean and quiet again. I felt foolish about last night. Made coffee. Opened the fridge, stopped. Half the milk was gone. And the loaf of bread was open. I hadn't touched either. I stared at them for a long time. Maybe I forgot. Maybe Ellen left it like that. I shrugged it off, but I started noticing more. The rug by the back door was crooked. My toothbrush was on the counter instead of in my bag. Tiny things, easy to dismiss still. Something felt off. I texted Ellen. No signal. Of course, I decided to drive into town, get some reception, tell her someone might have come by. The drive was long, 15 minutes of twisting forest road. When I reached the main road, my phone buzzed alive. I texted, "Hey Ellen, I think someone might have been inside the cabin last night. Any chance cleaners came by?" No reply. I waited. A few hours later I got one. "No one should be there but you." Maybe an animal? Lock the doors just in case? An animal? In the kitchen? Eating bread and moving rugs? I bought extra locks from the hardware store. Just for peace of mind. That night I cooked dinner. Steak and potatoes. I watched the snow fall outside. It was beautiful. Almost enough to forget the weirdness. Around 11 I heard something again. A muffled thump. From below, the basement. The door was still locked. I froze. The sound came again, shuffling like fabric brushing concrete. I grabbed the flashlight from my bag. Kneeling, I pressed my ear to the door. Silence. Then, a whisper. Too faint to understand, but real. Someone was down there. I stumbled back, every muscle tensed. What should I do? No phone signal, no neighbors. I stayed awake by the fire, knife in hand. Every creak made me jump. Eventually, I must have dozed off. Morning. I checked the basement door. Still locked. No sign of anyone. Maybe I imagined it. Stress, maybe. But then I saw something that made my stomach drop. Boot prints. Inside the cabin. Leading from the basement door to the fridge. Then back again. I knelt down. They were wet, recent. I ran outside. Snow was undisturbed around the cabin. No tracks, whoever it was. Never went out. I tried to leave. Started packing. Then realized my car keys were gone. I tore the place apart. Every drawer, every bag, nothing. That's when I heard it again. Below me, movement, slow and deliberate. I ran to the door. Tried calling for help. No signal. Something creaked under the floorboards. I looked down. There, between 2 boards near the fireplace. A hole just wide enough to see through. I knelt. Peered in. 2 eyes stared back. I screamed. Jumped back. Heart hammering so hard it hurt. The eyes didn't move. Just blinked once, then gone. I bolted for the door. Pulled. Wouldn't open. Something heavy pressed against it from the outside. I ran to the window. Froze. My car. Headlights on. Engine running. Someone was sitting in the driver's seat. Still. Facing the cabin, I yelled. No response. I grabbed the fire poker. Shattered the window. Cold air rushed in. The figure in the car didn't move. I climbed out. Ran through the snow toward it. The closer I got, the clearer it became. No one was inside. The seat was empty, keys in the ignition, engine idling. I looked back at the cabin. The front door was open now, wide open. Something moved inside. Ran, didn't stop, didn't look back, just ran until I reached the main road. A truck stopped. When they saw me waving, I must have looked insane. The driver called the sheriff. They went back to check the cabin. The report said the basement was a separate access room, hidden behind the woodpile outside. Someone had been living down there, sleeping, bag empty cans. A small camera pointed at a vent, leading up into the cabin. The sheriff said it looked like the person left in a hurry. No fingerprints, no footprints, just vanished. Ellen swore she didn't know that she'd inherited the cabin a year, cursed that she hadn't been there since summer. They never found whoever it was. My keys turned up weeks later inside a drawer I'd searched a dozen times. Sometimes I think about that night, those eyes, the slow blink, the sound of footsteps under the floor. Don't book Airbnbs anymore. I don't even travel alone because quiet isn't always peace. Sometimes it's the sound of someone waiting to be found. I just wanted to get away. No plans, no people, just the open road. It was Friday afternoon when I left the city. The plan was simple. Drive north, spend the weekend in a quiet town, maybe camp, maybe not. No destination. Just drive until it felt right. The sun was low when I turned off the main highway. A narrow 2-lane road cut through the forest. No signs, no cars, just endless trees. The first 2 hours were peaceful. Music on low. Window cracked. Cold wind and the smell of pine. Exactly what I needed. Then I saw something strange. A small blue car parked on the shoulder. Hazard lights flashing. Hood up. A woman stood beside it, waving. I slowed down. She looked about 30. Jeans, red jacket, long black hair. When she saw me slow, she smiled, relieved. I rolled down the window. You okay? She nodded quickly. Yeah, just... My car died. No signal out here. I glanced around. Nothing but forest, no houses. No other cars. Can I call someone for you? I asked. She shook her head. No service. Her voice was soft, polite. Then she leaned closer. Could you give me a ride to the next gas station? It's only a few miles. I hesitated. She seemed harmless. And it was getting dark. Sure, I said. Hop in. She thanked me, climbed in, and shut the door. Cold air followed her. She smiled again. I really appreciate it. We drove in silence for a bit. The trees on either side blurred by, black against the fading sky. After a few minutes, she asked, Where you headed? Just driving, I said. Weekend trip, she nodded slowly. That's nice. You shouldn't go too far, though. Her tone changed. Comfortable, but something about it felt off. Why's that? I asked. She smiled again, weighing small, stiff. People around here don't like strangers after dark. I laughed lightly. Yeah, sounds like a horror movie. She didn't laugh. Just looked straight ahead. A few minutes later, I noticed something. We hadn't passed a single sign or building. Just forest. How far's this gas station? I asked. Not far. She said it too quickly. I checked my phone. No service. Of course. Then I looked in the rearview mirror. Her car had gone. Hazard lights, gone, like it had never been there. Hey, I said. You sure this is the right way? She looked at me slowly. Her expression had changed. Blank. Then she said, Stop the car. What? Stop. Right here. We were in the middle of nowhere. I slowed down but didn't stop completely. Why? She suddenly grabbed the steering wheel hard. I swerved. Jesus, what are you? Stop the car. She screamed. I slammed the brakes. The tires screeched on gravel. We stopped in the middle of the road. My heart pounded. She was breathing heavily, then she whispered, They'll hear it if we keep going. What are you talking about? She didn't answer. Just stared into the trees. Her eyes wide, terrified. Then she opened the door and ran into the woods. Wait! I yelled. But she was gone. Just silence again. And the faint sound of wind. I sat there frozen. What the hell just happened? After a minute, I got out. Called out, "Hello?" Nothing. No answer. Just my car engine ticking in the cold. I grabbed my flashlight and shined it into the trees. Branches, snow, darkness, then movement. A shape, tall, motionless. "Hey." I called. It didn't move. Didn't speak. Then another figure appeared beside it. And another. 3 people, standing completely still in the dark. I couldn't see faces, just outlines. My hand shook. I backed up, got into the car, locked the doors. They didn't move. I threw the car in drive and floored it. The tires spun before catching. As I sped away, my headlights caught something on the road ahead. A sign. Hand-painted. White letters on wood. "Welcome to Ashford." I hadn't seen it before. Or maybe it hadn't been there. A mile later, the engine sputtered. The gas gauge dropped to empty. "I just filled the tank that morning, come on," I whispered. The car coasted to a stop. The forest around me was dead silent. Then, a light ahead. A flickering yellow glow through the trees. Like a lantern. Someone was there. I followed the light. Each step crunched in the frost. The glow came from a small shack, wooden, half-collapsed. The door was open. Inside, an old furniture, dusty jars, a single candle burning on the floor. I called out softly, "Hello?" No answer. I stepped inside. That's when I saw the photos, dozens of them, pinned to the walls. All of people standing by cars, old, new, different makes, and all the same background. The forest road I'd just been driving on. Each photo had something written underneath. Dates. The most recent one, today's date. In my car, my knees went weak. I backed toward the door. Then I heard a voice behind me. "You shouldn't have stopped." I turned. The woman in the red jacket stood in the doorway. Her face pale, almost gray in the candlelight. Her smile was gone. Expression blank. What is this?" I stammered. She stepped closer. "They always stop. They always trust me," I stumbled back. My flashlight beam hit the floor. Chains, a shovel, stains. I bolted past her. She didn't chase me. Just watched. I ran toward the road, heart slamming against my ribs. Branches scratched my arms, tore at my jacket. When I reached the car, I didn't look back. I just got in, hit the ignition. The engine roared to life. Gas gauge and full again. I didn't question it. I just drove. After 10 minutes, I saw lights ahead, a diner. A gas station beside it. I pulled in, shaking. Inside it was warm. 2 old men sat at the counter, staring at me. The waitress came over. "Rough night?" she asked. I nodded. "Yeah. There's a woman out there. Red jacket." Her car broke down. The men turned. The waitress went pale. "What did you just say?" I repeated it. She set the coffee pot down slowly. "Son," she said, "that woman died on that road 3 years ago. We found her car with the hazard lights still on." My stomach dropped. "That's not possible." She shook her head. "No, you didn't." I stared out the diner window. The forest line was just beyond the lights, dark still. And in that darkness, I saw her, standing at the edge of the trees, red jacket, watching. I blinked, and she was gone.